Malipayong pagsaulog sa Pasko, karong umaabot Disyembre 25. So we are here right now. I am I am your host. We are at Pamgras de Cebu. I am Agripina, your host, and we are now at Pamgras de Cebu Heritage Hotel for this very exciting event to present to you and for us to know how the Argao, Cebu celebrated Christmas 80 years ago. So we would be celebrating the Christmas season with this 80-year-old heritage Belen of Argao, Cebu. It depicts the Christmas story um, as depicted by the catechist of Argao, uh, Lola Laling Geverola. So this is the Belen sa Kabilin of Argao, Cebu. Yes. So a round of applause for this, Belen. So this, we would like to thank those who are here with us. So we have here the descendants of Lola Laling Hiberola of Argao. And we also have with us the chair of the Central Visayas Association of Museums, Regina Yoma. And she is also the curator of the University of San Carlos Museum. So this is an online event, but we are happy that we have with us on site our guests to to witness and to know more about this bilin nga kabilin. So a heritage bilin. So to to let us know more about this Belen, we would like to introduce to you our resource person this tonight regarding this Belen. She is a professor at the University of San Carlos, Department of Anthropology, Sociology, and History. She is the director of the University of San Carlos Social Research and uh, and she is also a granddaughter of the creator of this heritage Belen. Please help me welcome Dr. Zona Saniel-Amper. Maayong gabi, Dr. Zona.
Ay, gabi eh.
Si Dr. Zona. So please tell us about this Belen. So please tell us more about this Belen. Kanasaan ni siya nagsugod? When did your grandmother set this up first?
As what I know from her story and from my mother's recollection of the Belen, they started it uh, in the 40s, before the war, according to my mother. Pero it was still a small Belen, the usual cardboard Belen. But it was already after the war wherein my grandmother started to put up the the Belen, but at first it was just the birth of Jesus nga scene. Pero later on, there were more scenes added, and so all the joyful mysteries are there, and the entire Christmas story, until the baptism and the first miracle of Jesus.
May we show the Belen? Yes, bigger, the bigger. Yes. So this is the Belen. So it is actually how big is this, Dr. Zona? So
Originally, it was really big. The original Belen of my grandma, I think, is twice this size. No, it was in the kanang gitawag nila komedor sa karaan nga balay ba, kanang dako gid siya, kanang big, at least mga more than two plywood siguro nga table. And then so this is a very much smaller version but all the scenes that are supposed to be contained in the Belen are all there, are still all here. But in the past, my grandma had all these other scenes with houses and animals and other people, etc. So that's why it was really big.
So please tell us about Lola Laling Go Geverola and why did she create this Belen?
My grandmother was a very religious person, no? Kung moingon sila kanang kung naay bag-ong pari nga ma-assign sa Argao, kinahanglan mo adto sa siya ni nang laling kay para ma-orient. So, ang balay sa akong grandma, the house of my grandmother is located right behind the church convent. So it was very convenient for the priest to go there and ask. And then, uh, so my grandma was a religious person. So she went to church from dawn, yeah, until the pila na kamisa yang simbahan mga until the morning mass na, and then una pa na siya muuli, and then active kay na siya sa church nga siya mag-decorate sa altar sa kanang kung naay if there are processions in charge po siya in decorating the karosa, and then um, she was also a catechist. So she was a well-known catechist among young children kay at an early age katekista na siya, and then until tiguang na kay siya katekista lang yapon siya. So ang akong mahinumduman niya is murag yung naong nara simbahan pirmi. So I think kuan gid siya kanang very religious and devoted Catholic, and
Yeah.
she taught young children about Bible stories, and we were her we were also her students in catechism.
Yes.
We, mm.
So please tell us more about the different parts, the different mysteries in the Christmas story and the Christmas story as depicted in this 80-year-old Belen.
Okay, so let's start with the first joyful mystery, the Annunciation. So uh, this is Mary, and then the angel came to her. So that's the Annunciation. So supposed to be in Mary's house, no, in Nazareth. So the angel told her, "You will be the mother of Jesus," etc. So that's the first mystery. So actually, the angel is already new kay the old angel kanang brown na kay siya, and then naguba na siya. So we changed the angel nga bag-o na siyang angel. Pero the Mary is still the old one. Pero ang
So
angel giilisan na kay naguba na siya.
so if it's old, how old is it?
The angel,
Yes.
I don't know. It was older than me. Kay brown na gyud kay siya, yun naputol na siya ana ba,
So it's
so
still ceramic. It was
no, dili, not ceramic. It was kaning mura
made
na
of
siya. Ambot di ko sure. Basta brown na kay siya man unya. Motog ilisan na namo kay bati na siya tan-awon ba.
so
Naguba na
so this is the
the Annunciation.
station
And then
annunciation.
so the second mystery is on the other side. So my grandma would not place the two mysteries side by side. So mo nang adto gid siya sa atbang. So the visitation of Mary kang Elizabeth. So at first, not when I was a child, I asked my grandma, "Kinsay Mary diha, kinsay Elizabeth?" And then she would answer, "Mary is the one with the bandana because she was the one traveling. So Elizabeth is welcoming her to her home, and then Mary is from travel. That's why she's wearing a bandana." So that's the visitation wherein um, so to, the baby in the womb of Elizabeth jumped uh, when Mary arrived. So nikanta din si Mary o si Elizabeth. Okay, si nikanta Magnificat. Una no? Ah,
Yes, and then
marag
what's your favorite line in the Magnificat?
la may so to. My soul rejoices in the Lord. Basta something like that. Di ko ka-memorize. Dili ko pare sa kong lula.
So of course it is a very meaningful prayer and song and poem, the Magnificat. It
Yeah.
says something about like the lowly will be risen up, something like that.
Something like
So
that.
the powerless would be empowered, something like that, right?
Mm-mm. Yeah.
Sige.
And then, of course, the most important scene is the birth of Jesus. So, kana, the birth of Jesus, as you can see, it's in a cave. Because according to my grandmother, um, the in olden times though, people kept their cows and animals in a barn, no? Pero ang barn is not the barn nga wooden, pero it's a cave. Murag naa sa cave unya adto dito kay it's warmer daw inside a cave. So that's why mura siya cave ang landscape sa atong Belen, unlike the usual nga kanang mura siya wooden barn. Dili siya ing ana kay ingon akong lula sa una daw uh, it's the caves were used to keep the animals inside.
Oh,
So
so Dr. Zona, do you
and
think
that's why daghang baka there are at least 3 cows inside, and then they were displaced kay nanganak man si Mary, so nagpadaplin lang sila.
so? This is different from the like in the pasungan or the manger.
O
So
pasungan ko no na gihapon kanang daw ingon siya nga ang manger kuno sa una is ang cave kuno gi-turn into a pasungan sa baka.
Dr. Zona, I am just curious. This just came to my mind right now. Did you know that the cave is very important for our healers in pre-colonial times? So they usually like even the healers in Sikiho right now, they would dream of being in a cave.
Mm.
And then of course there is this I remember this prayer sa imong langob sa langob nga
Sa langob nga imong
imong
gipuy-an,
gipuy-an
imo
imo kang
kaming panabangan.
panabangan. And then I read, I don't know if it was Dr. Rolly Bernaga who mentioned that because of this our history of the healers, the women healers, and then the cave is part of that healing tradition. And then it was actually a compromise for the for the priest to put that cave in the prayer sa langob. So I'm just curious if your grandmother was also has is part of that tingalig
Di
which
kay
had to siya.
ang sa Argao sad gyud nga mga
uh,
bilin, langob gyud ilahang ingani jud ang setup even in other houses. So it's not the usual katong wooden nga frame nga ana ba. So
so
ang ilahang contention is that sa una murag what's there mo'y gamiton. So kung naay langob, gamiton siya sa mga tao to keep their animals kanang away from the cold.
oh.
So in
And
ana
how
siya.
about Argao is a heritage town, and we also know that the folklore, the folk story of Maria Cacao is also situated in Argao. And see, Maria Cacao also has a cave, right?
Yes, yes.
Asa unsa to yang cave niya?
Agta,
Ha?
agta cave,
Agta. Pero ang iyang bukid kay bukid sa asa to?
lantoy.
O Lantoy. Sa bukid sa Lantoy. Sa bukid sa Lantoy. Na nasa cave si Maria Cacao. So
Oo.
ang atong the Argao Belen kay naasad, it is also situated in a cave. So
Cave
this
gyud.
is really has the flavor of Argao.
Oh,
Kay the caves are very important for the Argao natives.
oh. So
Even to Maria Cacao.
this is the center of the Belen, no, the birth of Jesus. So you see there Mary, Joseph, and then of course Jesus, and then the cows, and then there are angels, no, so angels that are singing and playing their instruments. So
Okay.
actually, the angels were added in the 60s, I think, because my mother went to the US as a nurse, and then she bought these small figurines of angels, and then sent it to my grandmother to add to the Belen. So actually, it's not really like everything was there all at once. So we kept on adding. So with my grandmother, when she came to the city, she would go to Magallanes, mga tindahan sa mga insect niyang mga kaliwat in Sinhyaping, to her favorite store. And she would buy all these figurines that she thinks is fit for the Belen. And also, she also mentioned about Catholic trade. They also were selling small figurines of Koan. So over time, the collection became complete. So yeah, so that's why the birth of Jesus, we have all these sheep, very many sheep, because they came from her collections of the different Belen uh, figurines that can be bought in the different stores here in the city. So yeah,
So
that's it.
next, so the next joyful mystery,
Is the no, not yet.
the
So
next Christmas story.
while Mary was giving birth, the shepherds there were still watching their sheep. No, so kana shepherds and angels. So the shepherds were watching over their sheep, and then suddenly the angels came, no, singing "Glory to God in the highest," etc. So to, the Jesus is born, so you have to go there and visit. You follow the star. So they went to the birth of Jesus, to the cave to visit, and then the presentation when Jesus was still a baby. That is the fourth joyful mystery. Mary and Joseph brought him to the temple, and they brought two doves. I don't know if you see the two doves there. So that's the temple with Mary and Joseph, and they brought Jesus, and they brought two doves. And then the old man, that's Simeon, who bowed and said, ako kami memorize. Basta kay na siya gisulti to Mary and Joseph regarding their child. And so, uh, presentation, Jesus was still a baby. And then, no, the three wise men from the east saw a star, a very big star, just like this one.
So the star,
So they followed the star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how
how
far.
far? So
So they are depicted here in the Belen of my grandmother as still riding on their camels. No, so they are still traveling towards the Belen. No, so they have their camels with them, and they have an extra camel bringing their things. And the other camels, they were riding the camels. So yeah. And then they went, no, and diba, they asked Herod where sana, the baby was born. Kay he will be king. Yeah, Herod got angry, and then he ordered a massacre of the innocents, the young children, 2 years old and below. So he ordered his soldiers to kill all the children, the male children aged 2 and below, just to make sure that Jesus would be dead and will not become king. So actually, if you look at the soldiers, this is a new addition to the Belen. Uh, I bought that from Toy Kingdom, I don't know, 5 years or more ago. Because when I saw the soldiers, I said, "Oh, nice addition to the Belen of my grandmother." So I bought the soldiers, five of them, I think, and then I added that scene. And then you can see Joseph is sleeping. Yeah. So Joseph was sleeping, and then there's an angel there in his dream, told him that he should take his family outside and flee to Egypt. So they fled to Egypt there on the other side with the pyramid there. So the family rode their donkey and they went to Egypt. So actually, this figurine is a new addition also. Maybe in the 80s, my mother bought that from Catholic Trade, and she replaced the cardboard depiction of the flight into Egypt, which my grandmother placed because my grandma said she cannot find any figurine depicting the flight into Egypt way back. So it was just a cardboard drawing from I don't know where she got it from. Yeah, and oh, wala na yung mais. The story of my grandma of the flight into Egypt is that when they passed Kono, the workers in the farm were still planting corn. So supposed to be there would be corn there, but over time the corn plants died.
So,
And
it,
so there's no more corn. And then when they when the soldiers passed, those that were going after them, the workers were already harvesting their corn. So my grandma said it was actually like a miracle where they could not go after them already. Liman kag nananom pa niya, nag-harvest na. So ana. So actually the pyramid is also a new addition. Uh, my husband worked in Qatar. He had this pyramid. So actually we are thinking of adding things over time, no? So the old really is the original koan. Naana gyud na siya. The story is old and the the figurines are old, but sometimes we add and sometimes we change depending on the status of the figurine. Okay. And so after they fled to Egypt, uh, they Joseph in a dream man kuno ingon ang Bible was told that it was already safe because Herod was no longer king. But since the son of Herod was the next king, so Joseph brought his family to Nazareth instead. So they went to Nazareth to Mary's hometown and they lived there as an ordinary family. So my grandmother said this is the family at work, but from the Bible it's home in Nazareth. So I just copied what's in the Bible. But my grandmother termed this as family at work. So you see there Joseph working as a carpenter and Mary was supposed to be sewing clothes and Jesus was supposed to be feeding chicken. So karon nahimo nagbaka yung chicken. And then si Mary wala na siya spindle kay na wala na guba. And then si Joseph is still has the work table as a carpenter. And then nangapungkol na sila. Actually, these are old figurines. It was made by Monsignor Elias Matarlo. He was still a young boy when he made this and he gave this to my grandmother. And then, kana. And then, after Nazareth, when Jesus was 12 years old, the fifth joyful mystery is there. Um, the finding of Jesus in the temple, di ba? So they went to asa to kanang magpalista, di ba? Magkuan. And then si Jesus went to the temple, nawala siya. So he got lost and his parents kept on looking for him. And then they found him in the temple talking to the high priests. So kaning mga high priests dire, these are old. My grandma just placed some clay, man siguro na kada silang ulo. So mga karaan nga mga dal-dal nga na ibutangan niya clay sa ulo. And there was an old figurine of Jesus, murag nag-ana siya. It was also made by Monsignor Elias as a boy. But it's no longer there. Napulpog siya over time. So, we replaced it with that child Jesus. It was a gift also from Monsignor Elias Matarlo to my sister, Iris, during her birthday when she was still very young. And then we used my grandma used the gift and replaced the original one. So nataon ni siya 1967 man, so bata siya mga 70s na replace siya. Pero kanang tindira diha kilid sa temple kana si Mi kana karaan gina siya nga figurine murag di mi kinumdum og unsa na siya kakaraan kana siya. Yeah, bata pa daw akong mama. Yeah, my mother was born in 1934, so murag ano sa pa kana si nya may nga niya amot nganong mi kay naay tindira sa simbahan sa Argao nga mi ang ngalan. So among tawag ana niya si mi kamilyang binignit kilid sa simbahan. Okay, and then so that's the finding of Jesus in the temple, the fifth mystery. And so you might think nga manang joyful mystery wala pa because we added the baptism of Jesus, no? So it signaled nga murag padong na siya mo public ministry, di ba? This is John the Baptist. Oh, this is an old figurine and then John the Baptist, di ba, magsulob man to siya katong animal koan. So ang among iro sa una, tupihan, itom nga iro. Among pasulob, pilitan na mo ni nga figurine kay para mura gid siya John the Baptist. And then si Jesus is baptized. Okay. And then all the other people are there to be baptized also. And then lastly, we have the first miracle of Jesus. So when he turned the water into wine, kana siya. So Jesus is there with all the jars, and then Mary is asking him to perform a miracle because the bride and the groom have unsa ni unsa na run
No,
out of
wine.
wine. So gihangyo siya ni Mary with the servants there are koan kanang also asking him to do the miracle. So nagpa-pressure siya siyang mama nagmilagro na siya. Nahimo na ang water into wine. So according to my grandmother, kinahanglan ko no na ibutang kay first miracle ko kuno, so it's important. And all these figurines with the wedding, these are actually the figurines on the cake of my mother and father's wedding in 1960 na ni siya. So, murag na-add na siya nga ko. Ana, so, every out, kaning mga tanom lubi, karaan sad kay ni, wa pa may mataw ani, lubi na siya daan. Ya, kani siya iyahang ko, saksak na siya. So, ang kanang saksak, mura na siya from a palm tree man siguro na nga, amot unsa nga klase sa palm tree, saksak na mo na ibawaan. And then, kaning nas kilid mo ni saksak po na siya. So, anha diha isaksak ang mga tanom. Ya, this tree, ang akong lula would call this an istambre tree. And then, according to my mother, murag sila ra pong mga katiguangan, akong lula, yung mga barkada, mo rin mohimo ani using wire and kaning stick. Ana. So, sa una, in the old Belen, this is tambre trees. Mo gina siya naa diri. Pero over time, naguba na, nakuan. So, naapay nahabilin in town. Usa, I don't know, ang uban, wala na. Bag-o na ning mga plastic trees kay nakuan naman siya. So, that's the story of the Belen of my grandmother nga. Very exhaustive from the Annunciation until the first miracle. So, depicting all the joyful mysteries, the Christmas story, until kana, the first miracle.
So this could have been. I can just imagine that this is very exciting for the kids, for the
Yeah.
children in the 1940s when she first made this Belen. So we would like to know how did the people of Argao celebrate Christmas? Is the Belen part of it? And then what
Yeah.
was the reaction of the children? Is this part of the celebration? The Belen, was this part of the celebration of Christmas in the 1940s?
Yeah, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, even until the 80s. As what my tita told us and my mother told us and my grandmother told us na the Belen the was really put up in every household. So and it's not the simple Belen with only the birth of Jesus or the nativity. It's really depicting all the joyful mysteries and the Christmas story. So it depends on the household if unsa nga Christmas story ang iyahang unsa na, what specific scenes will be placed, pero all the villains there in Argao are really big kato akong giingon no nga, very big table, and then because they contain all these scenes no depicting the Christmas story, the joyful mysteries, etc. And so from what I heard from my mother and my tita and the children, before Christmas, like Advent, they will go around, di ba, caroling.
May we show the Belen still?
So for when the children go caroling, they will be asked by the household to sing in front of the Belen. And then after the children will do their caroling, then they will look at the scenes, and then the household, the member of the household will tell a story to the children, and then so it becomes like a visual aid to learn about the Bible and to learn something about how Mary was chosen as the mother of God, etc. And so it's like a visual aid wherein the household members who put up the Belen will tell the children who are doing their caroling about these scenes from the Bible. So it's actually like a tool for catechism. And
Bec-
the children would be very happy because they like to look at, like just like us when we were kids. And then we have these small horses at the sides. And then we will play with these horses. Gamay na lang sila kay nangaguba na. Kani na horses na kani o kani. Ya amo nang palumba-lumbaon diha sa karsada. Ya. Basta okay raman sa akong lula kay iuli raman sa ikahuman. So as I recall in the poblacion of Argao, at least every household gito no nga, we go to this house and then we go to the next house, and then there are all this bilin nga dagko jud kaayo nga bilin, dili gid siya kuan, di ka kita dire sa
human life, I mean, life size Belen.
dili
Dili
sad
sad.
na ginani ra gamay pero dako kanang gagmay siya nga figurine pero dako siya tungod kay it depicts different scenes from the Bible. Pero there were also villains nga with bigger figurines, kang kinsa to, kang padron kinsa to siya, no? Inday Rosa. Oh. Nga ang iyahang bilin, she gave it to Monsignor Elias Ite Matarlo. And when Monsignor Ite was in the seminary, he displayed the big bilin there of Inday Rosa in the seminary. I don't know if it's still being displayed now with the Christmas, or it's already in Barile where Monsignor Ite is assigned. No?
So
Was Barile?
so
Or maybe it's in Talisa. I don't know. I don't know where it is. Pero kaning bilin of my grandma from Argao, she gave it to my mother in Bulacau, Pardo. Kay tiguang na kuno siya, di na siya kakatkat sa lamisa, kuan ana-ana. So gipasa na niya sa kong mama. So ana.
when did this tradition is it stop, or is it still is still being practiced until
In
today?
Argao,
Yes.
I don't know. But I one of the houses there, I still saw a big Belen with the mysteries, but the other ones which we went to when we were children, they're no longer being displayed in those houses that we went to. Wala na murag wa na ni sunod ba? I don't know what happened to the Belen. Pero ang among Belen, murag gisure sa akong grandma, akong lola, nga mapadayon siya by giving it to my mother. All the big cartons and with all the carefully wrapped figurines in newspaper and ana. Ipasa niya sa akong mother and we displayed the Belen in the 80s naman siguro to, late 70s, starting in the late 70s. It was already in Bulacau.
Mm.
Kay ko ano man, my grandma was already around 70 years old at that time. So, gipasa na niya to ensure nga it will be continued. So, my mother and my father continued making the Belen. So, we as kids helped, no? Unya, later, sorry, my elder sister was the one nga, my grandma taught nga, nga niyon siya. Ako, runner naman ko sa una. Kanang, palit dito, Zoe ka para himuon og paste. Yeah. Palit dito, Tamtax, Manila paper, mga anda. And then later on, kanang anda, katong natiguang na sad akong mother o akong father, kinsa may laing mo padayon ni kami.
So, Dr. Zona, Jeanette Miriam Montanes, is Jeanette here? So Jeanette says, nang sita padron ding ang
Ay,
duna po'y
sita de,
dakong,
ay, sita.
nang sita
Okay, okay.
padron ang na dunay
Bilin.
dakong Belen. She has a big Belen.
Ah,
So watching right now is also history graduate of San Carlos, heritage advocate Raul Buzon, and also Lyndon Johnson, Michelle Therese. Daghang salamat
yeah.
Michelle Therese for joining us, and also to Jennifer Rama, maayong gabi. So, and
Sita de.
thirdly, a partisyo of DepEd Taguig City and Pateros. So we also have, are you from DepEd? So to Ferdinand Pagao, so you have your colleagues here, the doctors, the supervisors also of DepEd Taguig City and Pateros. They are here right now with us on site. So so um so, Dr. Zona, we would like to know regarding the Belen as a really the center of the celebration and of giving meaning to Christmas throughout the years since the 1940s. So, when did the Christmas tree replace replace the Belen? Diba? It seems like, or the Santa Claus. Is it the Santa Claus or is it the Christmas tree that replaced the Belen as now the center of the Christmas celebration?
Yeah, of course, with colonization and American influence and Western influence. So our Belen, which was uh, the, the center really of what Christmas is all about. So they became replaced with, I think, way back during colonization because of those influences. And then, of course, with mass media, and we became more exposed to the stories outside instead of focusing it on the Bible stories surrounding the Christmas story. Mao Santa Claus is coming to town. Even our songs, no, katong old songs, uh, have been replaced by I'm dreaming of a white Christmas bisag wala tay snow dire ano. So actually that's a reflection of our colonial mentality, no?
It is now the American colonialism because this,
Yeah.
of course, the Christmas story is also the influence of Spanish,
Spanish. Yeah.
the Spanish time religion, which is Catholicism.
Uh,
So with the American colonial rule, so the symbols of Christmas, from the original Christmas story, now we see the Christmas tree. But I think they would also find a symbolism regarding the tree. Is it Have you heard of that? That they trace the tree to something also to the birth of Jesus? Or gitry na lang na?
Ambot. Pero ang bilin sa akong gran sa una, nasa Che Christmas tree. Pero I did not place it there na kay naguba na.
Yes, so do you have an interaction here? Ah. So our educator here from has a theory from the DepEd Taguig City and Patero, so is here on site with us. So her theory is that the tree symbolizes also the wood on which Jesus was hung, was crucified. So he was crucified on a wood. So the tree has symbolism also. Maayo kayo. Maayo kayo mo connect back. Nagyod gyapon connection. So Jeanette Miriam Montañez says, support group Ming Dr. Amper Ma'am as close relatives. So fans din ni
Para
Dr.
siya cousin na namo, second degree cousin. She is in Argao. Clerk of court sa Argao.
So is this Belen also? So you mentioned that during the when the Belen is set up, the children would go around. So was there a competition among the households in Argao who has the best and the most amazing Belen?
Wala.
Wala competition.
Wala pa uso.
Wala
Wala
uso.
contest. It was really like a devotion of the people there in each household, wherein you really. Oh, and then we prayed the novena, no, to the Belen. There was a novena to the Belen, which we prayed. And then kanang, yeah, it's really a devotion, religious devotion. It's not for decoration or for like contest, best Belen, etc. But it's really a devotion. So that's why, um, like for example, you would like to depict this scene and then you don't have the figurine. That's why you look for the figurine so that you can add it to the Belen. So mura siya, devotion, ongoing devotion. And then it has been passed to the younger generation. So uh, I was asked by my daughter, asa ko nun ako ipasa? Kay padong naman sa matiguang. Naman siya diri. Siya to nagdukdok ani gahapon. Nangarimi diri. And my son also helped in putting this up.
Yes.
So at least bisag mawa na may kalibutan na mo padayon.
So sila na yung ma-explain nani in the future. So they would be the ones to explain. So you should practice already rehearse how to explain. So this is now displayed at Palmgrass, the Cebu Heritage Hotel, Galeria Independencia. So this is a special exhibit, a special installation because it's Christmas season. So it also goes with the theme of Palmgrass, which is celebrating our heritage. So this is a heritage Belen that was first displayed in the 1940s and has been displayed every year until this year, even
Except last year.
except in the Typhoon Odette. So except last year, so only 1 year.
Pero actually, I put this up a day before Odette. And then my sister kept on saying, ayaw lagi kay magbagyo. Pero I placed Jesus, Mary, and Joseph inside the cave, and Odette devastated the houses which I also placed. Pero Jesus, Mary, and Joseph inside the cave were not were not affected by Typhoon Odette. Nabutangan lang dahon, mga dahon.
So actually, so this was also first displayed here at Palmgrass at the lobby in 2020. That's still December
Yeah.
2020, pandemic time. So last year, we decided not to put this up. And then so we said it's a blessing, it's in disguise, because if you put it up at the lobby, the typhoon would have blown it away. Some glass were actually glass walls were at the second floor at the office were actually destroyed by Typhoon Odette, but not that glass wall with the names of heroes. Downstairs, the glass walls will not we're not affected, but then the wind and the wind blew so hard, so I could just imagine if the Belen was there. Grabe, mabagyuhan yun. So that's why when this year we put it here at the second floor to protect it in case there is, in case simbakulag, in case there's a calamity. So anyway, so there we have. Do you have questions? And then so we would also so like to know, why does the Geverola family continue this tradition of displaying this Belen every Christmas?
Because it's a kabilin. It's a kabilin of my grandmother, and even when her Belen was still displayed in Argao, we also made our own version of a big Belen in our house in Bulacau. No, so while this was in Argao, we also had our own. And then when she already gave this to my mother, um, we incorporated some of what we had into the Belen, and then yeah, because it's I don't I think it's a way of showing our respect to our grandmother who was a religious devotee, and we saw her when she put up this Belen. It took her days, no? How many days to put up? And then kanang kami pod in Bulacan when we put this up, mga 2 days, 3 days, ana, unya kanang kanang dugay gud siya ba kanang nga process. So murag it's our way of continuing what has been started by our forebears ba nga. Di should siya mawa gyud unya. Especially I'm also an anthropology professor, so we really respect heritage, no? And and I'm really thankful for Pamgras for giving us this venue, because actually we were thinking of kanang asa ka namo ibutang no nga basi gubon sa manok or unsa, or sa
Sa iring.
or sa iring or sa iro ang ana ba kay nang mukat-kat sa lamisa mga ana bitaw. So at least it's safe here, and it can be seen by more people, no? Your guests could see the Belen and
Yes.
ana.
We'll put up a sign downstairs that go up for the Bilin sa Kabilin.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we are also thinking that, of course, there's a CCTV camera. What if people, some kids would be taking some, so, but this is pasted on. Dili dali
Mostly.
makuha. Dili dali makuha. Oh,
Mostly, pero naiuban nga murag ni wa kay siya na
unlike
napilit.
in the past that it was interactive, the Bilen was interactive, that when the kids would play with the pieces,
Pero
right?
kani pwede ra ni siya kani. Iuli lang. Ayaw lang ni mga mabuak. Ang kanira mang mga ingani mo ang duaan sa una.
So,
Kani
do you
maguwang pa
think
nila mo ba?
there should be right now? So, in the past, during your time when you were children, there was no need to explain the different mysteries or the different parts of the story of the Christmas story or even the life of Jesus. So, right now, do you think it's best to have someone explain, or should we have a video, or should we have uh, infographic here at the side to explain the different mysteries?
Yeah, maybe. If you want.
Because do the children still know about the Christmas story?
Pero kami sa una, tan-aw ra man mi nya. Usahay na dako nga mo explain. Pero I don't know, maybe those in Catholic schools and those with catechism will know. Pero if not, kana.
So because Christmas is a very big celebration, it is like the climax of the year. Uh, Christmas is celebrated by almost everyone, those who are Christians. So, but then, do we really know the meaning of Christmas? Dr. Zona, what is the meaning of Christmas for you?
Duh, kuyawa na na ko ni.
We would ask
Pang
our audience first. Do you have another microphone?
pang Miss
If
Universe
I Miss Universe ka question. Actually. I had also I joined and I was a contestant of an essay writing contest when I was in grade 6, and the question was, what does Christmas mean to you? I was the first I got the first prize for that.
So you should answer that question.
Ang akong answer kay love ra gyud.
Ah,
And then make love not war. I didn't know yet the meaning of make love at that time. I said make love not war. It should be
uh,
Christmas means love.
uh,
So do you have questions from our audience? Natay unsay microphone nato dinha. Nailain diha nga pwede. Do you have an interaction? Do you want to also to our audience online? Do you have any reaction to this Belen Belen nga Kabilin? And also, do you have any question, or do we ask any question? Do we? Wala mo dito. We did not plan for a trivia quiz. Should we have a trivia quiz? We will have a trivia quiz, pero dili pwede mo answer ang mga sila ray baka answer ani si pwede ra si kuan sa sa online and on-site. Nay mo ka pwede ra nga walay microphone, ipakita lang nato ang person. So pero kung kuan kung pwede ra anyone mo answer kung anyone unfair kay ang mga taga Geverola nga family already knows the answer.
so
Sa ah,
the name of my lola.
so kanang kuan. So my question is this. Trivia question with the price. Unsa may price na to? Actually, Pangras de Cebu Heritage Hotel has also Christmas special treats. So we have asa ni siya? Asa na ba to akong so we have pauraray sa tingtugnaw. It's kanang snuggle in the cold. Christmas Eve dinner, Christmas gifts, and grazing box. Asa may atong unsa may atong gift ani nga for our trivia quiz. Kuan na lang, cake na lang. One slice of cake of tablia cake, Christmas tablia cake. The question is this. Which item, which item in the bilin sa kabilin was made by a monsignor? Lisod ato ka question ay. Lisod, lisod kayo. Which
Ano
part,
siya?
which part of the which part, lisod kayo? Lisod, dili lisod sa mga taga Geverola family. So, another question na lang, di na lang to, kay murag dili ka answer. Kisa may mo-answer at be, which part, ako nakalimot sa gani ko, di ko ka-answer.
Ano eh?
Unsa na siya? The,
Family at work.
the family at work
Home in
was made
Nazar.
by Monsignor
Ilyas Matarlo. Itik.
Monsignor Elias Matardo.
Pero di pa siya monsignor at that time.
Uh,
Bata pa siya.
so, Chris, ang atong trivia quiz kay the prize is a Christmas tablia cake. We have tablia cake, Christmas theme. Wala pa. So the question is this. Oh, ang answer ni Ferdy Aparticio is kuan. Baptism of Jesus. It's family at work. So it's the
Family
family
at
at
work.
work. So the question is this. What is the last part of this Christmas in this Heritage Belen? What scene is the uh, last last depicted, the scene that is last, that happened last in the Christmas story or in the life of Jesus in this depiction of the Heritage Belen? Can we have the camera to Koan? So what ang question is, what is the last in the life of Jesus, what is the last scene depicted in this Belen nga kabilin? So we have here the doctors, the educators of DepEd, Taguig City and Pateros. So as a name, Lenny Manawat. So we have Miss Lenny Manawat, and her answer is so. Miss Lenny said that the last scene depicted is the Jesus turning water into wine because it is the wedding where the 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 wine was consumed and they ran out of wine and they need wine. So Jesus performed a miracle. Is this correct, Dr. Zona?
Yes.
Congratulations! You win. Grabe, mga teacher, gani, may good kay attention. They are very good in koan. Kanang mga teachers good kay have very good kanang they're very attentive and kanang they know wedding Ferdinand Pagao also says wedding at Kana. So congratulations for knowing the answer. Mag-question pa ta? One more?
Ang full name sa akong lula.
Sige. What is the full name of the creator of this Belen nga Kabilin? The full name yun ha? With the middle name and the last name. So,
And the nickname.
the nickname and the real name. Ako kayo, di sa ko ka-answer, ano ba? Did we mention that? Did you mention during the discussion?
What mura?
Pwede na lang,
During at
dili
the
na lang, kato na
beginning.
lang, nickname na lang, middle name, or pwede ra, walay middle name.
Oh,
So, the one who can answer, who will be able to answer, is the one
sa
who
online,
who is who has not yet answered any question.
papo. Si Titel
So,
online.
sa online, so we can those on site can answer and those online may also answer.
Ikaw, Regina. Regina.
So, kinsay ni answer? What is the full name of the designer and creator of this 80-year-old heritage Belen? Belen nga Kabilin. So, what is the answer? Kinsa may mo answer? Wala may ni answer online. On site. Si Kuan, si Regina. Pa-answer na to kay kay cake. Wag ka kasugod. Ikaw, we have
Si
also,
great
so we are
granddaughter.
happy that we have with us our heritage partners, Central Visayas Association of Museum Chair, Regina Yoma. We also have Diandi Heritage Center Executive Director, Roxanne Duron, and also and also the founder of Vista Pride, Visayas-wide LGBT organization. Yes. So, and also we have here the descendants of the creator of this of this Belen Kabilin, this 80-year-old Belen. So, what is oh na sakto si Ferdinand Pagao that so he answered ng Laling go Geverola. Congratulations, you get a tablia cake. Would you give it to? would you? Would you? Would your friends, your colleagues here claim your prize? So nana mo duha na inyong cake. You'll have to slice it. Tugangan na to usa ka tig napakakuan pa maka-answer pa tag usa ka cake ani. So last question. What was the period? What year was this Belen nga Kabilin first installed? Kuan na lang kanang unsa na kanang round off the year. What year did
Decade.
Lola kanang
Laling.
Laling, Go, Geverola, put up this heritage Belen? What year did she first put up? On what years? In what years did she first put up this? Oh, give to my colleagues ko no, the tablia cake. So you will have 1940.
40s.
Congratulations, grabe giharos nila tanan. So the name is your name is Jennifer Rama. So Jennifer Rama got the correct answer. All from the DepEd, Taguig City at Pateros. Congratulations. Grabe ka mga bright kaayo ni sila. Mga trivia quiz champions. So you would kanang maayo, you are very good mentors to your koan. Maybe you have contestants so who join quiz bowls, quiz bees. Oh, and then the mentor now is Ferdinand Pagao. So the correct answer is 1940s. So the 1940s Belen nga Kabilin. So congratulations. So thank you very much for joining us in this short and meaningful celebration of the Christmas season. This presentation of this 80-year-old heritage Belen designed by uh, Lola Laling Go Geverola in the 1940s, and she made this to educate and to tell the story of Jesus through this Belen. So the family, the descendants of Lola Laling Go Geverola continues the tradition of displaying this every Christmas season. And this year, for the second time, this is now displayed at Palmgrass, the Cebu Heritage Hotel. And this is at the second floor, ikaduhang andana of Palmgrass, the Cebu Heritage Hotel, at the Galeria Independencia, at our Gallery on History. So, Gallery of Heritage. And this is near our Hawanan Tres de Abril. So, we would like to invite you in our upcoming events on December 3. We will have our sharing, pakigambit, our outreach with the children with disabilities. So it is Palmgrass practice that when we have an outreach program, we don't just share food with the children, especially the marginalized children, but we also feed their minds. So we also will have a storytelling, a performance by the staff and interns at Palmgrass of the story of the 1898 revolution against Spain, and the script of this was made by the students of the University of the Philippines um, theater group, Upstage. So they wrote the script in 2018, and so this will be performed for the children at the Missionaries of the Poor Center for the Children with Disabilities. That would be on December 3 at 3 p.m. So if you want, we would also be showing this on Facebook Live. So we invite you to watch the performance of Palmgrass Bagong Chatro Hongkera with the interns and also the staff of Palmgrass. And on December 1, we would also be showing you on Facebook Live Palmgrass the Cebu Heritage Hotel's presentation at the first Cebu City Heritage Summit. So Palmgrass is invited to present uh, Palmgrass experience regarding about heritage and business, the heritage and business mix. So this would be, we would be showing you live our presentation, and after Palmgrass presentation at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on December 1 would be the presentation also of National Artist for Literature, Dr. Risil Mujares. And we would also try to show it to you live on that day. And also on December 8, we will have we will have conversations with social historian also from the University of San Carlos, Department of Anthropology, Sociology, and History. We will have Dr. Jobers Reyes Bersales in we will have conversations with him on the war in Cebu versus Japan, or the Cebuano resistance against the Japanese invasion. And on December 29, we would be celebrating Pasko sa Kagawasan. So on December 24 of 1898, it was the first Christmas when the Cebuanos were finally freed from the Spanish colonial rule. So it is depicted at the painting at the Galeria Independencia. You will see that painting by Felix Catarata. It is the Thanksgiving Mass, the depiction of the Thanksgiving Mass, the celebration of the Cebuano revolutionaries of the freedom from Spain. So that's why we term it Pasko sa Kagawasan, or Christmas of Freedom, or Christmas of Freedom, Christmas of Liberation, or something. Christmas of Pasko sa Kagawasan. And on December 31, we will have another event, Tagbo 2023. We sugat, or we unsa na ilain tagbo. We meet. It is our New Year's Eve celebration when we celebrate New Year's Eve. So on December 31, and of course we will have the Sinulog. We invite you to our Sinulog event in January, where we will also be retracing the roots of the oldest devotion in our archipelago, the
Wala.
devotion to the Santo Niño and the Sinulog dance. So daghang salamat for joining us, og malipayong Pasko natong
Ay,
tanan.
ako ipakita
Oh,
ang akong lula.
we would also like to have Dr. Zona also, if she has also
Tara,
something.
mo ni siya akong lula.
Ni shine siya, ikuan
Pakita.
ko no. So we have the photo of Laling
Bata pa siya ni. Di pa
Geverola.
kayo tiguwang.
So she is the creator of this. We should have a photo of her printed and
Ah,
put here at the side of
i-send
the
lang na ko
Belen,
nimo, mag-send lang ko nimo para
the
matang
Biling nga
spillit.
Kabilin. So we have the our heroine of this, the really the the mastermind of this very brilliant heritage Belen. Um, so Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Pamgrass.
May
And
Pasko.
also, oh, Romary Tabliso. Romary is one of our contestants in our speech contest. Very talented, very articulate, also from one of the schools in Cebu. And Romary was able to answer 1940s, but I wasn't able to to check his answer. We will also give Romary another. It's Christmas. So Romary Tabliso, you also win one slice of our Tablia Christmas cake. So daghang salamat for joining us, og malipayong Pasko natong tanan for
Malipayong
December
Pasko.
25. Maayong gabi.
Gabi